This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Teachers upset over unpaid salaries and threaten industrial action. Teachers are likely to disrupt the education system if monies owed to them are not paid, said the Jamaica Teachers Association president. The teachers have expressed disappointment in not being in receipt of salaries and retroactive pay, which was promised to them by the Education Ministry. Payments were expected to be in bank accounts between Thursday and Friday, but the unfulfilled promise has left teachers across the island fuming, JTA President Winston Smith informed the news. He has therefore cautioned the ministry that should the teachers not receive payment, the association cannot guarantee normalcy within the education system after their contract expires on March 31, which is the end of the financial year. He added that as much as teachers were mindful of the need to close the learning gaps, they are dissatisfied with the undelivered promise. Smith was unclear on how many teachers have been affected, but based on the information received, the non-payment is more concentrated in ministry-paid schools. Members of the association have not received the full retroactive payment emanating from the recently signed heads of agreement between the Jamaica Teachers Association and the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, Smith said. The JTA president informed that the association would be scheduling a meeting to have these challenges aired and settled by the stipulated date, as they do not intend for the matter to be prolonged into the next financial year or contract period. The Education Ministry said in a statement on Tuesday that the salaries would be transferred to the Accountant General's portal on Thursday, adding that the delays were due to adjustments made as a result of the recent signing of the agreement and the number of payments to be placed on the system. Commercial bank payments were expected to be reflected in personal accounts on Friday, except for Scotiabank, according to the statement. Building societies and credit union accounts are expected to be reflected on March 28. Bursa-paid teachers were scheduled to receive payment on Tuesday, March 22. James Samuels shot and helper stabbed in home attack. Justice of the Peace and former Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association president James Samuels, along with a woman reported to be his helper, are nursing injuries inflicted on them during an armed invasion of Samuels' house in Jacks Hill, St. Andrew on Thursday night. Samuels, who is in his 70s, was shot once by the invaders, who stormed the house between 8:30 and 9. The woman was stabbed multiple times by the masked hoodlums. A very close male relative of the woman visited both victims in the hospital on Friday and reported that Samuels was recovering well. However, the woman is reportedly in and out of consciousness. She is in a more serious condition than him. Him get a shot in him neck that lodged down him shoulder. He is talking good, but she got a lot of stabs all about. Her nose bust up and broke. As a matter of fact, them take Mr. Samuels' van and jewelry, he said. Mr. Samuels is a respectable man, one of the foundation men in Jacks Hill. Woe unto those who did it, he added. According to the relative, Samuels told him that he and the woman were having a conversation inside the house when the attack took place. She heard a calling and went to investigate. The men were already halfway in the house but couldn't come through the door. When them come in, them start deal with her away. He was downstairs and they used her to get to him. He locked himself inside a room down there and they fired through the door, hitting him, the man told the news. Right now, me just have to pray say she pulled through. Right now, I just God me have to trust. Everybody know that lady. I don't know if it is people in the area or out of the area who did it. All I can say is, whoever did this must stop now, because every man has a time and their time will run out soon, he said. Another of the woman's relatives said that the incident has left her heart broken. It is sad because this is one who would get up on a day like today and go from house to house to make sure that everybody is okay, she said of her relative. A male resident who condemned the attack described Samuels as a good man who is very valuable to Jacks Hill. As a justice of the peace, him no hesitate to sign none of the young youth them papers. Him always can give good advice. Them man they grow me from your youth. I don't think he has any problems out the road because if him and anybody in an altercation, we would know. I years him live up here from me a youth, and nothing like that never happened before, he said. Opposition senator calls for review of new policy for joint NHT mortgage. Opposition Senator Sophia Fraser-Binns has urged the government to review its conditions for allowing 3 people to join to secure a mortgage from the National Housing Trust. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has said the new policy will ensure that more persons can access housing. However, only family members can join their benefits. Speaking in the debate on the appropriations bill on Friday, Senator Fraser-Binns took issue with this condition.
What does it mean by related? Is it blood relation? Is it spousal relation? Because a common law relationship under our law is 5 years. What if you're in a serious relationship with somebody for less than 5 years? Are you deemed to be related? And what about 2 best friends like Donna and I? What if me and Donna decide that we want to join together and buy a house? Because we're not related, we can't have that benefit. I believe that much more thought is required, Senator Gale, and I'm hoping that when your team meets, that this will be fleshed out, and this mandatory requirement of family relation, of relation, that it be reviewed, because it is not going to satisfy the objective, I believe, that the Prime Minister is trying to achieve.
Criminals are not Robin Hood, says Prime Minister. Using the recent capture of wanted man Davian Bryan as an example of how citizens and the police can work together to fight crime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Friday hammered home the point that those who provide information to the police will be protected. He also cautioned against the idolizing criminals who he said are not Robin Hood, the fairy tale character who stole from the rich to give to the poor. We now have a police force that has a structure that will protect you. Your safety and the security is utmost when you provide information. We have ways and the means in which you can provide information anonymously, as it is quite rewarding for you. If you have information, use the channel and get that information to the police. You will be protected, your identity will be protected, you can do it anonymously, and at the end of the day you can benefit from it. This will make your community and Jamaica a safer place, he appealed. He was speaking to residents of a Wharf Lane in Orange Bay, Portland, during the handing over of a house built under the new social housing program. The fight against the crime, Holness added, would only be won if citizens and the law enforcement work together. The lottery scammer is not your friend if he helps your daughter to go to school. It is not for her education, it's for his control and the possible sexual benefits. If he buys the shoes for your son, it's not to help your son, it is to recruit him to a gang, the Prime Minister said. Until we all recognize that the criminals are not Robin Hood, they are thieves, murderers, extortionists, and we must remove them from our midst, we will continue to have this challenge. I have a supreme hope in the good people of Jamaica. In me you have an unrelenting partner for your peace and prosperity. We will do everything, this government, everything possible to bring this crime monster under control, and with your help and the support to success, Holness added. Holness used the opportunity to commend the police as well as residents of St. Thomas and Portland who had a hand in Bryan's capture on Wednesday. Bryan has been accused of abducting 2 young girls in St. Thomas last October and is suspected of several other attacks on females in that parish and in Portland. At the time of his arrest, he was wanted for illegal possession of firearm and rape. He had been out on bail but failed to appear before the Portland Circuit Court on February 17, and the judge issued a warrant for his arrest. Hanover doctor killed in crash. Dr. Brandon Dixon, who worked at the Hanover Health Department in Lucy, was killed in a motor vehicle crash along the Orange Bay Main Road in the parish earlier yesterday. According to reports, Dr. Dixon was driving a Toyota Axio motorcar which collided with a Nissan Titan truck in the vicinity of the Orange Bay housing scheme. When the police arrived on the scene, they reportedly saw Dr. Dixon's lifeless body in his car. No one was in the truck. The Green Island police are currently investigating the incident. Dr. Dixon's death has shocked colleagues at the Lucy Health Center. Lawyers raise issue over stipend in Wandon gang trial. Defense lawyers in the Klansman Wandon gang trial are fuming over its 7-week adjournment, for which they will not be paid although they have a mountain of work to do and are calling for the intervention of Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. The lawyers want the minister to revisit the decision that was taken to prorate their pay. On Wednesday, the trial was adjourned until April 7 after the prosecution asked for additional time to go through a communication forensic cybercrimes department report which contains about 57,000 files to identify witnesses. During the adjournment, the defense lawyers, who numbered about 40, are also expected to visit their clients and sift through the material with them and take instructions. But two of the frustrated lawyers who spoke with the news said it is grossly unfair for attorneys to be paid only when they appear as they have been working constantly on the case. Furthermore, they noted that the stipend that they are being paid at a measly $7,500 per day is already well below what would have been acceptable. Defense counsel are very unhappy about this adjournment because defense counsel are only paid for the day when they sit in court, and if the court is only held 10 days of the month, we end up with nothing because it becomes prorated at $7,500 per day, the lawyer said. Further, the lawyer said it must be considered that the defense counsel still have to do preparatory work at their home and workplace when the case is not being heard. So it is grossly unfair to us because while everybody else continues to get their full salary, we are only getting what I refer to as a stipend of $100,000 for an accused, the lawyer said. When the matter is adjourned, everybody else who is involved gets their full salary. The judge, the prosecutor, the police, all up to the person who cleans, they get their full salary. So why is it that ours, which is already nothing, has to be prorated, the lawyer charged. However, Chuck, when contacted yesterday, said we can't pay them when they are not working. He, however, noted that the lawyers can petition him to revisit the issue, but at the moment his position is that they cannot be paid when they are not at court. How do we know that they are working when they are not in court, he questioned. Andre Blackman Bryan, reputed leader of the Wandon faction of the Klansman gang, and the 32 other alleged gang members are being tried on an indictment with 25 counts under the Criminal Justice Act and the Firearms Act. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.